Today, our lecture is about the iteration or looping. Loop or iterations are actually repeating the same code of line many times, say 10 times, 2 times, or 4 times. So, iteration or looping is just repeating a task or repeating a code of line many times. Uh, but before we go to the loops, in this lecture, we will discuss the for loop and the while loop. Uh, before going to discuss the iterations or the loops, we will just discuss what is updating a variable means. For example, if you say x is equal to x plus 1, you will see it will give us an error. You will see it will give us an print x. Oh, I think because we have already put it in some variable x, we say set y. Uh, you will see, you will see it will give you the error. The name y is not defined because it is actually when it evaluate it will the right hand side y plus 1 is y is not defined, so it gives you error. The better way is always initialize the variable with certain value. For example, if we say y is equal to 0, no, it doesn't give you the error. It will be evaluated. So keep in mind that we should initialize the variable first, and then uh, we uh, come to the work. So similarly, if you give any variable, for example x, again, uh, see, no, we know that x is 1. If we repeat it, it will be 2. As you know, the x is initialized to 2. We again run it, it is 3. Now x is equal to 3. We again run this code, it is 4. So keep in mind, this is called updating, and always we initialize the variable first. So it didn't generate any error. Same, now we will see how for loop is actually used in syntax. For is just repeating a code of line many times. See, for example, if we print the first 0 to 4, we say 4, for example, x in range x or any variable. For example, we say iteration variable, iteration variable, or we say z x in range any variable in range. So 5, and we say print, print x will print uh, 0 to 4 because it starts from 0, so it is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, if we want that it start from 1, uh, for example, so this is a 4 in range, we said it start from 2 and it stop to say 10, and increment size, for example, 2 plus 2. If we don't mention, then it is 1. For example, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we mention the increment size, it will uh, increase by 2, 4, 6, so much. So it's a print x. You will see the 2, 4, 6, 5. Because since we give the start, stop, and steps are the increment size, it will actually start from 2, then increase 2 at every time up till it is 10. 10 means it's 8 because it will always be one less. So we start 10. And similarly, if we uh, it is actually we uh, do this by the for loop. No, we can loop by elements. For example, see, we have initialized a variable days. It's a list actually, and each first element i- at place 0 is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Sunday. And if we loop through the elements, like the same, for example, for so iteration variable in list here, i- if we set x or day, it's same. For example, the iteration variable or temporary variable, which we say the for the temporary variable in and list. Print today is day, and after when it print all the days, it quits from the loop and say these are the. You just run it. I will say today is Monday, Tuesday. It iterate over all the list, and when it has been uh, done his task, uh, it quits the loop and print this. The question: what will happen if you use days instead of day in the print command? What will happen if you use days? See, if you use days, see what will happen. Because if we use the days is actually a list. It print whole list 7 times. Okay, why? Because you put days over here. Day is actually this is iteration variable. When you see days, this is actually the list is over, so it repeat the list 7 times. Okay. Uh, Now we see how can we use the continue statement in loop. For example, a continue statement is just used when we skip a certain iteration. For example, we say for number or x for iteration variable in range. So we know that the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We said if number is equal to 3, we condition that if number is continue. Continue means skip this particular iteration. So when it 0, 1, 2, and when it comes to 3, it skip the last this print because the loop doesn't go to the print. Instead of this, it will go to the 4. It skipped the third iteration and go to the 4th. So it didn't print this. You will see it skip actually the when this fourth iteration or third number. Similarly, this is actually skipping just an iteration when you when your intention is that you actually exit from the I exit from the loop at certain condition, then we use the break. For example, we want to break out of the loop at, when there is iteration when the number is 3, you will see with it if number 3 break, and you will see what happens when this when number is equal to 3, it will exit from the loop. It will exit from the loop and do nothing. So the difference between continue and break is break it strictly exit from the loop, while in continue it just skip one iteration, one particular iteration, and and go to the next iteration and do the rest of its job. For is actually uh, we say for is a finite loop because in for we know that how many times we want to iterate iterate certain code. But there's another loop which is called infinite loop, we call while loop. The while loop is when we are not while is normally used when we don't know how many times we want to iterate the certain loop. To understand the structure of loop while, we have an example. For example, we initialize n equal to 5 and put the condition. This is while and this is the condition. N is greater than, so when n is greater than 0, mean n is a positive number and greater than 0, until this condition is true, the loop will works, and when the condition is fails or it becomes false, it will exit from the loop. So you see, this is while, this is condition, and this is the body of the code. Print, and this is the body of code which is indented, uh, and when the print off, it will be exit from the loop. So see, if you have n, while n is a positive number and greater than 0, then first of all print it, and then reduce it by number 1, and then again go to there. For example, if 5, you know, 5 is greater than 0, so condition is true, it will print the 5, and then 5 minus 1 is 4, it will again come our while, and 4 is greater than 0, so print 4, and then decrease 4 minus 1 is 3, again go to 3 is greater than 0, print 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 is greater than 0, print 2, 2 minus 1 1, 1 is greater than 0, print 1, print 1, say 1, 1 minus 1 0, and 0 is not greater than 0, so it will quit from the loop and print the blast off. You see, this is actually structure. You will see here we did not mention how many time it iterate, as we do mention in for. So, so here is an example of infinite loop. We say n will initialize n equal to 10, but we give the while loop. We have already said that the while will always loops, or it will go and go on until the condition is false. But when we write the true, it's mean what you will write in the body, it will execute it infinite time. So don't run it. It is actually an example of infinite loop. To understand that the break structure and the very good use of the while, we actually uh, see we make an infinite loop, for example, while true, but we say line, we input from user any character, and said and condition that if user input or write the word done, D-O-N-E done, then you break mean exit. Otherwise, break mean exit the loop and print the line. It will exit from the loop when the user print the done. It print the done and exit from the loop and write the done. See, example, I said mail, see John, and then it is alien. And when you write the word done, it will exit from the loop. Only exit when you write the done. So when you write the done word done, it will be exit from the loop. So here we don't know that how many times the user want to input uh, input anything and when it will write the word done. It is on its own sweet will. So we don't know how many times we want to run the while loop. So counting and we use there are many example for loop. We'll just use that for loop for that how we count the elements of a list using the for loop. So it's a very good example how to use the for loop. See, we initialize a variable count equal to 0 and 4. This is a iteration variable in, and this is a list actually. You will see we say a count is equal to count plus 1 and print count, and then what is the count? What's the count variable? So we'll see it will give us the 6 because 6 is actually uh, the this list the size of list is actually 6. So each time it will come to an element it will plus in count we are going to initialize count 0 to 0. So 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 6. So it is how we can count. If we need, if we want that, we need the sum. Similarly, if we want that to just how to get a sum of it, that variable, you simply do uh, copy this and simply you say total sum. Just make a little uh, contribution, and it will give you sum of it. So count instead of uh, one, we will say iteration variable, as each time the iteration variable will be added, and you will see at the top the total. You see it will use total. See 154. 154 is exactly the sum of this. So do you know how we can see the count, how you can see the total, and similarly we can take the average because the count is there. You just have to divide it. Another example is when we want to take the maximum from out from an a list. For example, see that we say initialize the largest equal to none. None is just like the empty set, and if and and for example for iteration variable in the list, if largest known or iteration variable greater than 0. So we we just will swap the variable when the iteration variable is greater than the largest the variable that we have used for the placeholder. It will just swap the number when the iteration variable is greater than variable. It will put the iteration variable in a box and go to the next element and see if that is greater than our number. If it is greater than the number, then it will put the greater number in the box and go to the next number. If next number is less than our 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 variable, which is it in our largest variable, it will do nothing. It will act only when the iteration variable is greater than our largest variable, which we placed in the in a say placeholder. Okay, keep that in mind. The crux of, of our equation is this. This is actually if iteration is largely just right because because if the largest is known, if largest is known, it will give you error. To avoid the error, we just use this. We just use this. Why? We want to just avoid the error. So iteration variable is greater than largest. Largest is equal to iteration variable. Print loop iteration variable largest variable, and then it will give you the C C3. Why? Because C. So we put the 3 in our box. Then we'll see that the iteration of 41 is greater than 3, so it puts the 41 in the basket. No, it go and it is 12 is not larger than the 41, so it keep the 41 in the basket. It will go to the 9 and see that the 41 is not greater than sorry, 9 is not greater than the 41, so he didn't take any action. It's go to 74. When it go to 74, 74 is greater than 41, so he put the 74 in the box and go to the 15. As you know, the 15 is not greater than 74, so he kept the 74 in the basket and give you the results. So it is the a simple example how we can use the for and while loops. Keep it trying.